So these scrubs turned out way better than I thought they would. They are so absolutely gorgeous. Look how cool these are. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is extra special because I'm going to be showing you how I make some cosmic galactic sugar scrub. This scrub is the final piece of my Cosmic Space August launch, which I am so happy to announce is going to be launched as of August the 6th. Yes, that is this Friday, which means you have the whole week to get ready for that launch. And a reminder that the boxes are very limited edition. There's very few of them, but you can buy the items individually. But again, those items are also very limited. We are going to be releasing everything as of 8 p.m., which also means we're going to be shutting down our website as of Thursday. So if you head over there on Thursday and you see that our website is gone, don't panic. We are just trying to get everything set up for Friday's launch. So I'm so excited for you guys to see what we have in store and get your hands on some of these amazing space-themed products. And when I was planning this box, I definitely wanted to have some sort of sugar scrub in there. Sugar scrub is one of my favorite products that we make, and people love them. I've tweaked this recipe just a little bit to be a little bit more foamy, a little bit thicker, and I'm gonna try a new technique to get it into the jar, so stay tuned for that. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Jerica, and I'm the owner and creator of Quench, which is a soap and bath bomb company. And on this channel, I talk all about that company. I talk about how I make my products, how those products are sold, and how I run this business out of my home. So if that is something that you're interested in, keep watching and subscribe. And now, without further ado, let me show you how I make this amazing sugar scrub. So to get the cosmic effect of the sugar scrub, we are gonna include some cosmic colors. We are gonna be including the same colors we've been using mostly throughout this entire series, and some very dark mica. This is a black luster mica that I got from Windy Point. I will also be using some magic red from Windy Point. This is a nice dark pink, almost red fuchsia color. Fuchsia? It says magic red, but it's coming off as really pink to me, but maybe it's reading red to the camera, but when I use it in my soaps, it's a very hot pink color, and I love this for space stuff. And then I'm also going to be using Aphrodite from Mad Micas. I used this in the soap and I really liked it. It was a little light, but I think I'm going to use a little bit more for the sugar scrub. And then lastly, I'm going to be using Lustry Violet Mica, also from Mad Micas. And before we cap these sugar scrubs, we're going to add one more piece of cosmic magic to these by adding a light dusting of Into the Mystic. Of course, I love this glitter so much. And a spray of sparkly blue glitter, which is very fine and looks really cool in products. I've used it in a few things here and there, but I'm really excited to use it on the scrub right now. So there is a lot of color elements to the scrub. I'm super pumped about it. I'm going to try a different technique in jarring it, but we'll see how that goes. And for the scent of the sugar scrub, I'm going to be using Arabelle. I use this scent for the space donuts, and I am in love with this smell so much. It's a light floral with a touch of fruit. It's fantastic. I might have to order a giant bottle of this from Island Escape Fragrances because I love it that much. It's so nice. If you want to know the exact notes of this fragrance oil, you can check out the Space Donut Bath Bomb video, which is right up here. So I'm going to stop talking about it and show you how I do this. The first step I'm going to show you is combining the ingredients that add the foam and soapy part of the scrub, because the scrub is kind of a mix between a foaming one and an emulsified one. So you have the best of both worlds, a scrub that rinses cleanly from the skin, but at the same time leaves a bit of moisture when the emulsifier in the scrub touches water and turns into a bit of a lotion. I really like that combination a lot. And for this scrub, the surfactants that I've chosen are SCI and cocamidopropylbutane. And the first step is to mix the two of them up together to form a really thick paste, and it looks kind of like marshmallows. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Note that when you're working with a very fine surfactant like SCI, SLSA is the same way. Please make sure you're using something like this, a respirator that prevents that powder from being breathed into your system, because this is not fun to breathe in. It is actually quite painful. It really irritates your airways, so avoid that altogether. Invest in one of these. One of the best things that I bought, actually, because this also is really great for blocking out lye fumes when I'm mixing lye and water together. Be safe, don't breathe this stuff in. It's not pleasant. So after mixing the two, you get this marshmallow paste-like concoction, and what you'll be doing with this guy is heating him up over a water bath. And the reason why we do that is because it allows the SCI to melt, and that will let the cocamidopropylbutane and the SCI truly come together. And we're going to heat this up over medium heat on a water bath until it's one uniform or consistent color. And then when I come back, I'm going to be combining my other group of ingredients, and then I'll talk about those groups of ingredients. For the next group of ingredients, this will include my oils and my butters that gives my sugar scrub some moisturizing properties, but I'm also going to be adding the emulsifier, which in this recipe I'm using polywax and a little bit of stearic acid. These two ingredients also add some body to the sugar scrub so that it's a little bit thicker. And these two ingredients also really help with keeping the sugar scrub stable during shipment and during hot weather. That's something that I find really important in sugar scrubs, is the ability to ship it out to other places and still looking the way it did when it left my house, when it reaches its final destination. So that's why I started to incorporate emulsifiers into my sugar scrub recipe, because just having the whipped recipe was not cutting it for me. It did make a beautiful, lovely scrub though. So for this group of ingredients, we're also going to be melting it down as well so that we are able to blend those ingredients with the surfactants that I've put on the stove to heat up as well. And I'm also going to be adding to this recipe some distilled water and sodium lactate. I'm also going to be heating this up over the stove. Once everything is melted, we'll all combine it together, and I will show you what that looks like when that's ready. So after the ingredients have melted quite a bit, you'll get this slurry consistency. It looks kind of like very runny mashed potatoes. That is actually perfect. So what you're going to do is to add your water to this and then stick blend everything together until it's one uniform concoction. I have my water and sodium lactate here. I'm just gonna add this to this and then stick blend, and I'll show you what the consistency looks like after I do that. So after blasting with the stick blender a few times, you're gonna end up with this really thick base. You need to let this cool down until the container that it's in is no longer hot to the touch, and that's how you know you can add your preservative and fragrance oil and all of that stuff. So I'm going to let this sit for quite a bit longer, and then I will come back to it once it's cooled down, and then I will add my preservative and fragrance oil. So the base has cooled down a lot, and you can see it's pretty solid now. And I'm going to add my fragrance oil and preservative to this base and stir to fully incorporate everything in. And then I'm going to transfer this into my mixing bowl and start to whip it up a little bit so we can get it to be a little fluffy. So now that I've added preservative and fragrance oil, I'm just going to give this a really good stir. So I'm going to transfer the base into the stainless steel bowl, and I'm going to measure out my sugar into this bowl right on top of my sugar scrub base. And then I'm going to use a hand blender to whip up the sugar scrub. So I'm just going to scrape off as much of this base off as possible. So here it is in here. And I'm going to take my scale, tare, and then grab my sugar and put it in. So I have my sugar in here along with my base. I'm going to take my hand blender and blend it all together until it's all whipped up. So after a lot of hand-held blending, this is the texture that I'm getting. And you can see that it's very fluffy and stiff. I don't want to whip it too much more than this because I run the risk of deflating it. But now that I have everything whipped up, I'm going to split it up into its different colors and then color the sugar scrub. So now that I have all of my colors mixed in, I'm going to spread them out over a parchment paper. I'm gonna roll it and then stick it into a piping bag so that I can pipe these colors into my jar. Now that I have them in a roll, I'm going to just squish it all in. Roll up the sugar scrub. Fit it into this piping sleeve. Just really get it in there. The tip is fed into there properly. And now I'm going to prepare my jars and start squeezing the sugar scrub into the jars. So I have my glass jar here and I'm making sure that every jar is filled the same amount. So I have it over a scale. And now I'm just going to squeeze the sugar scrub into my jars. And I'm just going to tap it every now and then just to make sure that I'm getting rid of any air pockets. And this scrub is actually pretty thick. And this is how the scrub looks. And for those curious, there's no piping tip in my piping bag. It's just, I just cut a hole. Because this scrub is so thick, it actually wouldn't feed through a piping tip very well, if at all. There's a lot of body to this scrub. And I have to say, this scrub looks absolutely magical. The thing about the piping technique that I am not the biggest fan of is the fact that you lose some of the product in the piping bag. You kind of have to really fight it to get all of that sugar scrub into the jar. Doesn't that look amazing? Wow. So I'm gonna pipe a few more jars and come back to you when they're done. So these are the freshly jarred sugar scrubs. And I think already they look so cool and cosmic. Look at that. I'm really, really proud of how they turned out. But of course we're not done. We still have to add our sparkle topping. And we are gonna be using Mad Micah's Into the Mystic to finish these guys off. And I will show you what these look like once I've added those. So I just pick up a little bit on my brush and lightly tap to get a light sprinkle of Into the Mystic onto these sugar scrubs. And that will finish off these beautiful cosmic sugar scrubs. I'm gonna add just a little bit of Bikini Bottom because my blue was not as prominent as I wanted it to be, so we're just adding, oops, just a touch, just a dusting of Bikini Bottom. To just add a little bit of blue into that. Now I'm thinking I want some gold. Let's see how some gold might look. Oh, hold on. So we're gonna do a quick demo of the little bit that I had left in the piping tip so I can show you how this type of scrub performs. So I'm going to wet my hands. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the scrub. And I'm going to just shut off the water, first of all. And then rub the scrub between my hands. And you will see that scrub gives me a really nice creamy lather. So just that little bit was great, but you can definitely add more to get more bubbles and lather. And of course, rubbing more vigorously will give you, so you can see the wonderful creamy lather. That's bubbly. It smells amazing. Arabelle is such a nice fragrance. I love it. And this lather is both bubbly and creamy at the same time, so that when I rinse off, it rinses off with a very silky feel. Like it's not squeaky at all. You can feel that there's a little bit of there's some nice moisture left behind, and your hands just feel wonderful. So really, really proud of this scrub. So these scrubs turned out way better than I thought they would. They are so absolutely gorgeous. Look how cool these are. And these are limited edition scrubs available to purchase on my website in the space box or individually as of Friday, August 6th. And they smell fantastic. I am in love with these. And if you're wondering about the glitter on top, if you're using these in the shower, this glitter should rinse right off. There's only a tiny amount, and I just used it to finish off the tops. I didn't use it throughout the actual scrub itself. Really like this tweak in my formula to make it just a little bit more stiff to give the sugar scrub a little bit more body. And look at that effect on the side because of the piping technique that I used. I'm really, really pleased with how they came out. And if you're wondering, I'm in my mudroom right now because it is such a gloomy, wet day, and this is the room where I want to take all of my product pictures, and I want to take pictures of these guys before I put the cap on them and ruin those gorgeous tops. So if you want this exact recipe, this is a recipe that's a little bit different from what I've done before. You can go and head to my Patreon, which is linked down in the description below. And a quick thank you to everyone and anyone who has supported me on there. You guys are the best, especially my Bubble BFFs. These guys are absolutely awesome. Some of them are great business owners that you can check out their businesses linked down in my description below. Patreon has been such an amazing community. I'm so glad I started that, and you guys have been so supportive and awesome on there. It's been a great place to put all my recipes all in one spot. It's super convenient. So again, if you want to check that out, that's linked down below. And that is it. I really hope that you like this kind of video. If you did, please give it a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, keep making gorgeous, beautiful things like Cosmic Galaxy sugar scrubs. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.